it's your girl Tia, host of Millennial High, where the trend-setting millennial comes for motivation, inspiration, and deep conversation. Today's show is all about how not to strike a balance, a work-life balance. It is impossible. It's up there with fairy tales, Santa Claus, and the Tooth Fairy, maybe. And I know this all too well. And today in the studio with me, I have Pat Kryzwonos. She is totally awesome, owner and choreographer of Dance Step 2 Dance Studio. And she's going to give us a little advice on how to blend work and family and have a really great life from it. So it's about blending, you guys, and not balancing. I also have my girl, Marcel, on the line. Marcel, where you at?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cue up the song. I just want to thank you guys for listening. This show will serve as a platform for those who inspire and provoke others to go beyond what they ever thought was possible for themselves. So if you have an inspirational, uplifting, thought-provoking message you want to share with the millennials of the world, I want you be on my show. You can email me at millennialhigh@gmail.com or check me out on Facebook at Millennial High or IG, Instagram, aka Insta. There's so many words for Instagram these days. It's just like, which one do I say, right, to stay relevant?
IG.
Right, IG at Millennial High. Exactly. I don't have a Twitter yet.
No Twitter?
No,
What's
I
up
don't.
with that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Come on now.
We're going to talk about work and life and fun and home and children and love and everything else that we want to talk about after this song. And the minute I thought about the title of the show, I'm like, we gotta play work, right?
Oh, yeah.
Work from home, Fifth Harmony. We're going to play that now, and then we will be back. Hello, and we are back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Tia, host of Millennial High. This is a new informational, inspirational talk show on 106.5 FM, WPPM in Philadelphia. Today's show is all about how not to strike a work-life balance, but how to blend them. I have with me in the studio Pat Kryzwonos. Hey, Pat. And on the line, I have Marcel,
who was jamming to that song in my mother's kitchen.
Right? Let me tell you how great that song is. And it is relevant to this topic, despite popular belief that's in the room with me today. It is about really working from home, right, Marcel?
It sure is.
Yeah, exactly. It's about working from home, all right, to all the children listening. Huh?
I said I wear what they wear in the video, and I dance like that when I'm home alone.
Right?
Well, there you go.
So today's show it's an important one. I feel just for everyone who's either starting a career or you want to become an entrepreneur and you have family responsibilities or you have children, you have a husband, and how do you follow your dream? How do you live your passion and as work and then still honor other obligations? And I know for me that was challenging maybe like the last 2 years ago. And I did a little radio documentary. It was like a 15-minute piece about this topic, and one of the people I interviewed was Pat, and I wanted to bring her on because I listened to it the other day. I'm like, this was really good. Our interview was so good, and I wanted to bring you on to the station to get a little bit more insight and to share your insight with the listeners.
Well,
so Pat,
yes.
This is my story. So basically, I have a daughter. She's so grown right now. But she's not. She's just a little kid as far as I'm concerned. But I was always a baby, right? But the deal with it is that I wanted to do something different in life and in work. And I'll never forget that my mom said to me, you know, when Adi was first born, she's like, okay, now you have to keep a job, Tia, because now you need insurance. You know, now you need, you know, money to pay your bills. You know, bills are going to start racking up. And I knew that what I loved, I was passionate in, you know, I wouldn't see the fruits of my labor forever, and I couldn't like lean on people to take care of me and my daughter, you know. So I just needed some advice because I was struggling. I still had this yearning to go out there and be in TV or be in radio, you know, have a talk show. And I sat down with Pat, I sat down with my mom, and I sat down with someone else who gave me great advice. His name is Ricky. But for instance, one of my questions to Pat was, you know, she's a working mom and she has her own dance studio. So it's like, how am I to complain? I don't have to run anything, you know? So, Pat, I mean, tell a little bit about your story.
Well, you just do the best you can. I mean, you dream and then you try to go for it, and you hope that you can get what it is that you're trying to strive for. That's the issue, and that's the rub, as they say. I don't know. I wanted to dance, and I wanted to perform just like you. I wanted to be out there. I had a story that I wanted to tell, and I wanted somebody to watch me tell that story because I wanted to be seen. So, I liked running things. Always brought my cousins and things, and I always ran them in the yard, and I always played the games, and you're going to do it my way, and this is what we're going to do, and you're going to stand there, and this is what's going to happen, and this and that. Always did that. When I was 5 years old, I was doing that. It was ridiculous. Yeah. But when I grew up, but people always told me I couldn't do it. It's like, you can't do that. You come from a small town. You come from a farm. What are you going to do? You can't make any money from doing that. You need a job. You got to pay your bills. You know, you have a family. You're supposed to get married. You're supposed to have kids. And you're supposed to, you know, get a job, die, and call it a day.
Right.
And it's like, there's got to be something in the middle there, because I would go insane if I couldn't be creative or couldn't go out there. So I just went for it. And that's basically, I just kept trying different things until something popped.
I'm telling you, that is exactly what people say. It's like, is this what life is?
Yeah.
It's just like you work. And like, I just read an article,
and that's it.
And it's just saying that 75% of your day, you're at work. So, and it's just like, and we work 5 days a week, right?
Sometimes 6.
And sometimes
or
6.
7, depending
on it. And some people I know work 7 days, and it's insane. And
and they don't enjoy it.
And they don't enjoy it. And they're salaried employees, so it's not like you get like a overtime from it or something. But despite that, it's just like people feel like, and we're stuck in like this cycle of like, you're born, you go to school, you go to school to work, then you work all your life, and then you hopefully live on Social Security money, or maybe money that you saved up, or your 401k, which I have never heard anyone say, oh, I still have all my 401k.
Seriously.
You know, people tap into that all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Are notorious for that. Oh my God.
You tap into that all the time. And then you're like, what did I do with my life? So then what is the purpose of life? And I'm not saying that I understand that you have to work because you got bills to pay. You have like, and in society, we made it so much so that you have to work to live.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to work to live. So then for the people like, you know, you and I, like Marcel, the creatives who are listening to this, is like, when you have this passion, this fire inside you that doesn't necessarily go along with a typical 9 to 5.
Absolutely.
And then you have family obligations. For me, I had Adi, and then Pat gave me like really great advice. And that's why I'm saying how you balancing life doesn't work. I read this article. I'll post it on my Facebook. The name is slipping me, but it's Harvard Business Journal, something of the such. But they said that striking a work-life balance is impossible, because what that means is it's saying that work is just important as your life. Like work is just as important as family. And that's what balancing is. So sometimes you have to give a little, you got from here, take a little from here, but take a little from your family, take a little from the ones you love.
And you can't be everything to
you can't be
everybody,
everything,
no
right.
matter how hard you try. And you cannot, please everyone. Not happening.
Right. It's not going to happen. So it's kind of like then you have to blend it. So when I sat down with Pat, I said, I feel comfortable because it was like 9:00 at night on a weekday. I had to, my daughter came with me because, there was no one to watch her. So I had to drag her along with me. But I felt comfortable doing that with you sitting down in an interview with my daughter because I've known you forever, like all my life. And you said something to me. You're like, who cares what people think? I'll never forget that.
Absolutely, because people are going to have something to say no matter what you do. So
you're like, who cares what people think? Who cares what people say? Because you're just building up mental barriers and you're stopping yourself from living your dream. And that's basically what it was. So then what happened? Just taking Pat's advice, and honestly, I really think we all should, is just that when you blend it. So basically, I started taking my daughter with me to Philly Cam. She's here with me right now. I incorporated her into this entire show when I have her on the weekends where she helps me pick out songs and playlists.
She's so good at that too.
She's so good at it, and then she loves it. And then and it's just like you're still doing what you love, and you're doing what people you love,
and you're spending time with your child,
and you're spending time. There you go,
knocking it out. That's it.
Bingo. So then
that's it. Bang it out.
Exactly. So then what about you? So then I know you have before step 2, I remember you telling me you were just going to like different schools and teaching people dance, right? And then you would have to bring, like, how did you incorporate your children into your work schedule?
I just brought them with me. I mean, Martin was 2 years old. I mean, Asia was 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I don't know. I just brought them with me, whatever I had to do. And I mean, there were a couple of times that Martin would be on the stage dancing around with me, and I had to hold his hand while I'm trying to do something and try to find out where Asia is and all this other stuff. And one time, Martin got kicked off the stage. I mean, it's just, what are you going to do? He bounced. He's okay. It's all right. He lived to tell the tale. But you do what you got to do. You scrape him up and you keep it going. You shake him around and you see if his eyes are still rolling around, and he was okay. We were fine. It was all good, Yeah, do what you got to do.
And Michelle, I know you have 2 little ones, and you have a husband. I mean, you both have husbands. So then
that's like having 3 little ones,
right?
To be honest. So my issue was when I was working at GMAC Mortgage, I had a lot of mom guilt, which I know a lot of moms have, because I was working and my children were at home. But thankfully, I had my mother. I have her now, which she's retired now, so she can watch my kids when I need her to, but I could not get over that mom guilt. So I ended up leaving my job so that I could stay at home with my kids. And that job I loved it. I loved being there. I loved the people. I loved the atmosphere. And I had to leave because I couldn't take the guilt. And that's the worst part for me.
See, that's not good. You shouldn't feel guilty about loving a job. And you can love your kids and you can love your job at the same time. Right. I don't see the problem with working. And if somebody has something to say about it, then they need to pay your bills. I mean, there's nothing wrong with loving where you work, because you're a better parent to your child when you love what you do, because you can come home and be happy about it instead of coming home going, if you look at me, I will have to hurt you. So go away. If you come in the door happy, you won't hit anybody. So there you go. Kick the dog, step on the cat. You won't do all that stuff. You'll be nice to everybody. But you come in with a frown on your head, it's like, you know what? If you breathe at me, I'm going to have to kill you. I mean, so
I need an applause. I need an applause button or something, because no, testify. I agree.
Oh my gosh.
And that is the beautiful thing. Let me tell you something that I had to learn, right? And something that I hope I save the listener from learning. Or no, I want you to learn it now while you're listening to me, but I don't have to go through the struggle of it, right? But it's the fact that when I was at a place I did not love work, the 75% of my time, I was so unhappy and I was getting sick. And then my daughter was little, and I remember, like, she was always sick. I was always sick. I was in and out the doctor. I always wanted to take off of work. I'm just like, this can't be it. It was like, I'm like, and I thought about it. I'm like, and then something happened in my life, and Michelle, you know, Brandon, he passed away, like, tragically. And it made me think, like, what is it all for? And I'm like, I'm not happy, and I'm coming home and I'm not happy. Yeah, and it made me think, okay, something has to change. Like, something has to change. I think that was my point. And because I knew, like Pat said, why can't you have both? You can love what you do just as much as you love your family.
You know what? Because men do it all the time. They love what they do, and everybody's like, oh, that's so nice. He's being a man. That's great. Oh, you know, he doesn't have to look at his kids, but he loves his job. That's great. It's wonderful. But if a woman does...
to be away from his kids, that's...
Right, exactly.
Hello. But, you know, if a woman does it, then all of a sudden, well, you know, you shouldn't because you could, no, you have your children.
Oh, my God, that is always the number one.
You know.
Or even if you don't have kids, it's just like, well, you should probably get married sometime.
Right.
You know what I mean? And because it's kind of like, you know, men can go out there and they can hustle and and I'm sure there's men listening to the show. I just don't want to like down men, but we it is a double standard.
It is what it is. Let's just put
exactly.
it out there.
It is a double standard.
They got it easier. It's just, it is what it is.
And Tia, I had that roller coaster ride too, because once I quit my job, then I'm home with these kids, and I was like, well, I don't want to be home with these kids all day.
Right.
So I had to go out and get a job, but I told myself I wanted it to be a job that I loved, and then that's why I went with Reinhardt Agency. So I wanted it to be something I loved, and only worked a couple of days a month, and then that was it. And this is what I'm doing now, and that's just
and you're so happy. And Michelle, I've never seen you happy. You are so happy. And I think that's another thing too. When you're transitioning from a job that you necessarily did not like, the next one should not be more of the same.
Oh, absolutely.
Now is the time, like, if you decide, like, I'm a part of this Facebook group, and a lot of the girls go on there and say, I just quit my 9-to-5. I feel so alive. You know, I'm going to start my business as, you know, mentoring women or da-da-da. And it's just like, I'm like, good, but then it gets tricky because you need the money, right?
Well, you know, the problem too with starting your business, it's great to start a business, but people need to patronize you as well. They need to do more than just give you compliments, because it's nice when they come in and they say, oh, you own this. This is great. This is great. But you know what? You need to help them out, and you need to come to them, because there's no point, because a compliment is not going to pay the electric bill, nor is it going to pay the rent. You cannot go to the landlord and say, well, they complimented me today.
I got
Does that help?
You know? I got 101 compliments today.
Oh, I got 100 likes. No, I got 100 likes. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's not.
I can pay for things now. I got 200 likes. Woo. Yeah, no.
Pat, you are sparking. You are touching a chord with me with the likes.
Oh, I can't.
What did you say, Michelle? Say it again.
I think a lot of people need that just to validate themselves, and I think that's where we go wrong.
But once again, validation doesn't pay the bill.
It doesn't do anything for your ego. It doesn't do anything for your self-worth, we should say. Your self-worth is what's important. And if all you're looking for is somebody to hit the like button, and that's all you're waiting for, then you're going to have some problems, because sooner or later, they're not going to hit the like button, and there you are left with a computer or a laptop or whatever you like, you know, looking at.
I think Deepak Chopra has this quote, and he says that, you know, if your happiness is dependent on other people,
forget
it. Be prepared to be unhappy. It's never going to last. It will never last. So you have to find happiness within, and that's why it's so important to always go through life step by step, choosing what you love, and then incorporating your like. And the thing is, I kind of feel, I always felt like there's something wrong with work, and then family and life and enjoyment being separate. Like, I'm like, why can't it all be one thing? And I think that's why so many like millennials are becoming entrepreneurs, or they're starting their own business, or they're freelancing.
But one thing you do have to remember, you do have to pay your dues, and people don't want to do that anymore. And sometimes you have to do something you don't like to get to what you do like.
Oh, absolutely.
So we have to remember to do that too, because you're not going to love it all the time. Because even a job that you love, you're going to go in sometime and go, oh my God. But sometimes you do have to do something you don't like to get to what you do like. So you have to remember you got to pay your dues. And take the aspirins when you come home and sit down there and,
It's like nobody wants to work hard anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that kind of went out the window. This was hard. It's hard. It's even doing this was really hard to get to. It took 2 years. No, even longer than 2 years to even get here. It was even just me fighting myself.
Yes, mentally preparing yourself. Because I remember when you came to the studio and I could see the look on your face when you weren't working at that job, and I saw the guilt on one side and the kid on the other side, and something was in the middle, and you just looked like something was on top of your head and you couldn't get it off, and you kept blocking yourself like you just wouldn't go for it.
I just would not go for it.
No, because everybody was telling me you have to have a job, you have to have a job, and you have to get married. Where's your man? Did you meet a man? You haven't met a man yet. Where's your man? Where's your man?
Influence you get from all the people in your life that are like, this is what you're supposed to be doing, because that's just what everybody does. They get married and they have kids, and you depend on your husband, and then that's
and then you have to think about, are they happy though? Because they follow the status quo. They didn't. Those who decide to stay, in that same lane and that same, like, there's this one meme that I love, and it's just a group of people all carved out the same way, all in black with suitcases, and then they're just all standing there like robots. Like, people choose to do that, and they're comfortable with it because maybe they don't want to be uncomfortable. But when you're uncomfortable, that's when you know you're growing, right? That's growth, to go beyond fear. And honestly, you can do that. And those are the people who are telling you not to do what you
because they're like, well, if I didn't try it, you shouldn't try it either. Now, some people are happy doing that, and that's fine. They work those 40 hours or 44 hours for that extra and get that bill on Friday night, and they're good to go. Like, I got a pizza on Saturday night, and that's my thrill. Woohoo! And that's it. And that's okay. If that's what you like, but not everybody want to be on Friday night and the pizza on Saturday and hoop-de-doo, and there you go, and you go back to work on Monday.
Right.
But if you do, I'm not mad at you.
I have to say something. So we told people to send us message. So I just got one message going back to, where's your man comment that you made. She's just like,
where's your man? Where's your man? Under the bus.
She's like, where's your man? She's like, I want a man. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing.
We're not saying there's anything wrong with that. We're just saying that
have
sometimes,
one or two. Put one on the shelf, one just in case.
When you lose your self-worth and when you lose yourself in a man, then that's when it's wrong. When you start not doing things that you love because of the man, you're waiting for his phone call. You go out of the house because you're waiting. What if he calls me? What if he wants to come over?
Right.
That's when it gets not good.
So I want to talk more about this. I'm having so much fun today with Pat and myself, and then the listeners texting in talking about, but I want a man. Well, listen,
get one.
We'll work.
We'll
on
send
that
you
next.
one, okay? What kind of man do you want?
I want this man we're about to play actually right now, Lenny Kravitz, and the song.
Speaking of men.
Your man.
Oh my gosh.
I've loved Lenny Kravitz since like high school, and I'm telling you, everyone who knows me knows. So
love or obsession.
Nuts.
Let's not talk about it.
Nuts.
Let's not talk about that right now, but let's talk about there's just one song, and I haven't played him though. Like, since I've been on the show, I have not played
Heavens,
Lenny
you have
Kravitz.
not played Lenny?
No, but I want to play him right now because this song, this topic reminds me of this. So it's this song called Believe in Me. And so this is kind of like, I love this song. Just listen to the lyrics. It's so beautiful. And his voice just mesmerizes you.
Get back to it.
Whatever.
Come back, Tia. Come back.
I'm sorry. I'll come back. Snap back. Millennial High. Yes. So here we go. Play the song, please, baby. If you're just tuning in, that was Lenny Kravitz with Believe in Me. I love that song. I'm Tia, your host of Millennial High. With me in the studio today is Pat Kryzwonos.
Hey, boo.
She's giving us some pearls of wisdom.
Yeah. We'll go with that.
About blending all the things you love, your passion, your family, and just life in general. And then I have Marcel with me on the phone lines. Marcel, where you at, girl?
I'm here.
Now. That's awesome. Marcel, how are you? How are you doing today? Are you good?
Pretty good. I just got kicked out of my mother's house. She's like, leave the kids, you go. And I was like, okay, fine.
Exactly. You could have came to the studio then for all that. You're like, Ma, I got to.
Up later. I said, all right, it's Sunday. I'm feeling out. Where do I go?
And to the point is without your mom, like your mom helps you a lot with watching your children so you can do the things that you love. And the same thing, like with my mom, she's really good at that now. I mean, sometimes I do ask her last minute. I do. I'm like, oh, Mom, by the way, and she's like, fine, but what do I tell you about doing that? It's just like, all right, I won't do it again next week. Okay, Mom, by the way.
Being a mom, I understand that.
But no, so now I want to talk about what's trending. This has been such a fun week with hashtags, I feel. And Marcel has a lot to say about that. But let's talk about, there's so many. What do you want to talk about first? Let's talk about Brad's wife.
Okay. It's hilarious. It's been so funny. So I sent you a message, and I said, you have to look up this Brad's wife. It's just, so Cracker Barrel decided to fire Brad's wife, and for no apparent reason. And the husband, who's Brad, was so desperate to find out why they fired her. So he actually put up a Twitter, I believe, and asked the world, or asked Cracker Barrel, I guess the main corporate office, why they fired her, and it just went nuts. Everybody is making all these crazy jokes, which are hilarious. So one of the jokes was Brad's wife is actually Angelina Jolie, and they fired her. It's just amazing.
Oh my gosh.
And then the other one was Brad's wife is the new Harambe, and if you don't know who Harambe is, there was a 3-year-old boy who fell into an enclosure at a zoo, and they had to kill Harambe. So what they're saying is that they killed Brad's wife because they fired her from Cracker Barrel.
Oh my God!
Those are hilarious,
goodness.
and I've just been watching every single thing. So
there was one tweet, and this woman, and she was so funny because and Marcel, you told me about the April the giraffe story. About the Toys R Us giraffe giving birth to the baby, and she's taking like forever to do it. So someone blended both stories. I think that's the key word today. Blended both stories. So she's just like, hashtag, justice for Brad's wife. And April refuses to give birth unless you tell us why you fired her. Something like that. It was like so funny. I'm like, I can't with people these days.
And the backstory with April the giraffe is a giraffe, their gestation is normally 14 to 15 months. So we've been waiting a very long time for this giraffe to give birth. It just won't do it. And this weekend, they have everyone on edge because they said she'll be giving birth within 24 to 48 hours. So millions of viewers are tuning in to see if this giraffe will give birth to her little baby at any moment. And we're just waiting for it. And then the jokes are hilarious, too, about the April giraffe as well.
The April giraffe thing is hilarious. Gosh. But don't forget, for Brad's wife, though, everyone is hiring her. Like, they want to hire her.
Oh, my gosh.
Get Chick-fil-A.
Seriously.
Everyone is like, this whole big thing. Oh, wait a minute. Brad's wife.
Why did they fire her? I mean, does anybody know? You. They won't say. I mean, maybe she,
No, she had 11 years of service. She worked there for 11 years.
Exactly. Good customer service. They said.
Oh, wow.
And then they let her go. And they're not saying why.
Stepped on the wrong toe?
I guess. I don't know.
The world is upset. The world wants to know why, and they are flooding Cracker Barrel's Facebook page.
Oh, my gosh.
Corporate office. Like, it has been.
It won't rival. It's. Wait, but look, Cracker Barrel stocks are down.
Really?
My God! But that's the power of social media, though.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the power of the hashtags. Do have power? I know there are people say I just don't want to be just another hashtag, but they do.
Apparently, it works.
It works.
It works.
It works. I mean, and we're talking about it, so it works. It's who is Brad anyway, right?
Is he cute? I mean, what is this? Is he?
You don't even know. You don't even know because his
How
Facebook.
old is Brad?
We don't even know. We know nothing.
What does Brad
about him.
look like?
We don't know. What does his wife look like?
What? Yeah. How long these people been married? What's up with Brad?
Well, we know for 11
What kind of job does Brad do?
We don't know.
Where is Brad? Do we have a Brad? I want to know.
I like Bradley
inquiring
Cooper.
minds
Is he
want
Bradley,
to know.
Bradley Cooper.
There you go.
Listen.
His wife works at Cracker Barrel. There you go.
Not anymore.
No, it's not Bradley
that's
Cooper. Wait, there was another story. This girl, I saw it on Facebook the other day, and she is like this little girl, and she's singing into a well. Hallelujah.
Oh, yeah.
And she sounds so pretty. So I want to play the clip if Adi can just play the clip.
That David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
She was amazing.
Wow. Beautiful.
Right? I told Tia this morning, I said, I need this well. Where do I get this
Yeah,
well?
really?
These are awesome.
The sound.
Sound good singing into that well.
Really?
Right.
Wow.
So the caption is, it's a well in Italy. So that was amazing that someone took that, and everything goes viral these days. Like, Marcel, can you make a video that goes viral? No,
Yeah,
you
right?
did actually have something.
Ooh, what you
Marcel,
have?
She did.
Ooh, what'd you do? What'd you do?
I think I sang that song with my kids in the background. You got to do everything with the kids.
Right, that one, but then also the Facebook post. Remember that you did when the guy
That went viral.
yeah. So what happened?
I walked into a 7-Eleven, and I caught the tail end. So I see this, and he happened to be black, and I just wanted to make note of that because everybody made a big stink about that, and I'll tell you why later. So I see this, and she was white. I see a white woman go in, and she is about to pay for her stuff, and he offered to pay for her stuff. And she said to him, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Absolutely." He was having a good day. And I told him to turn around. I want to take a picture of you because I wanted to make it notice. It happened to be around a time where just everything was going with the racial profiling. It was just a time where I wanted to make sure that we all knew that we are together in this world. So I posted on Facebook just what I thought about it and how lovely I thought that he was for doing it and how great I thought he was for doing it. And then it went viral. People were posting it everywhere. And then occasionally I would get that, well, why do you have to mention that he's black? And then I would have to say, well, I wanted everyone to know that we are still together in this world because of what's going on. And it was shared, I think, 22,000 times. And I would get messages from people from the UK. Bangkok was one of them that sent me a message just saying that I am so inspired by this story. So it was wonderful. That was actually
to the point where one of my friends told my friend, "Hey, check this out. Isn't that an awesome story?" And then Brooke, she shared it to her page. I'm like, wait, that's my friend Marcel. She posted that. So it got like right back. It
came back to you.
It came back to me. I'm like, oh, that was Marcel's post. But wait, didn't he get like a job from it or something? Wasn't he getting?
He did. And so what his wife told me, I found out later that he was unemployed and he was struggling to find work. And so I ended up posting like an update story, and I said, he is actually, I found him because I didn't know who he was. I just knew, I wanted to find out who he was. So because of Facebook, his wife contacted me and said, he's my husband. We're struggling. He can't find a job. And I posted that he can't find a job. And then I started to get flooded with, give him my phone number. I'll give him a job, which was wonderful. The wife was so grateful. And I must have got like 100 messages saying that I'll give him a job. I'll give him a job. I'll give him a job.
So did he
it was wonderful. Yeah, oh yeah. He ended up calling, and I think he got a job as a driver. I'm not sure. I'm still friends with on Facebook with his wife, but I don't. You don't. I mean, it was done, so I don't really ask for updates. But they seem to be doing well, really well. Actually, the wife is actually doing a movie with something with a movie, and
really,
they just seemed so happy. So I was glad that I got to see the end story.
What goes around comes around. That's so cool.
Right. I think that was absolutely amazing, Marcel. So
I did not expect it to go like that. I only expected to show my Facebook friends. I just happened to make it public, and it went nuts.
Wow.
It went nuts.
Yeah,
And I think there was over 100,000 views on just watching, or, just clicking in or whatever.
Oh, you
And then
never
the
know.
news got it. Fox 29 News.
Right, that's right. Yep, Fox 29. So
I just wanted to get that guy out there, and it worked. Social media, and be good.
Wow.
that was what's trending. That was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys. I'm getting messages, right? And some of them are really funny, and I'm really trying not to laugh here. But with that little pause, I just have to reveal that that's what that was. So let's go back to work-life balance doesn't exist. The work-life blend does. So I read this article, and they gave 3 ways of how you can blend work and life. So I just want to read them out to you and just talk about them. Pat, like, tell me, like, yeah, that falls into alignment with what I was saying to you earlier, or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
So the first one is identify your life's theme. And I kind of like that. So it says to help eliminate negative spillover from work into home life or vice versa, we should put everything in the same container and create a coherent narrative. Doing so can reduce work-life separation. I kind of like that, having your life theme or like a life mission statement, they're saying.
Really?
You understand that? Yeah.
No.
So it's kind of like saying, so when someone says, so what do? You basically, you're blending, say something like this. Like, for instance, you have a job where you're a choreographer, right? You have a dance studio.
Yeah.
So your both children have taught in your dance studio.
Yes.
Right? So I guess your life's theme would be incorporating working with, those that people I love, my children and my husband, and my passion and my life. Like your blend. So it's like you're blending it with your words.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand. But the thing of it is, it just happened to work that way. They both, like Asia did cheerleading, and she played soccer, and she did different things. Martin did karate, baseball, and I didn't necessarily push them into dance per se. They just came with me, and I figured they have to do something. So while and they were just they were doing it, but it just so happened that they ended up liking it or loving to perform. So I was lucky.
So you were lucky.
Yeah. So it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes
No,
the kids
that's not.
don't want to do what it is that
Right.
you do. So that you can't necessarily say that. So that's not a necessary thing, because it doesn't always happen that way. I happen to be lucky to have 2 creative kids.
Right. I mean,
So-
you were lucky to have 2 creative kids, and so creative. I mean, your daughter, but I mean, you do have to say you played a role in it.
Well,
Right,
yeah.
because to me, I
But-
kind of feel like for instance, so Audie will always know, that's my daughter. She'll always have a little taste of what it's like in a radio studio, whereas your children knew the environment, and because they were brought up that way. To around a
Theatrically, yeah.
dancer. Yeah. And I kind of feel like, so right now she has 2 successful children. Your daughter just choreographed this 42nd Street, was amazing. And then your son's on Broadway. So, I mean, you birthed that, like, and you had
You did that. You did that.
but you did that. But I kind of feel like, but it was through your tutelage, honestly. I mean, that's just how I view it.
Yeah. Well.
That's just how I view it. The second one, they say, is to design your work using intentionality and introspection. So they're saying, I think the key is focusing on designing the life you really want, creating your own definition of success based on your core values, and then re-engineering work or business to support that. That is the ideal situation. I think that's why so many people are becoming entrepreneurs, but some people don't want to be an entrepreneur, right? They just they do want to work for others. And so,
Because it's a lot when you have your own business.
Right.
I mean, because everything falls on your head. Half the time people don't know half the things that you are up at night trying to figure out how to do to make it through the next week. And it's not always easy. So.
Yeah, I don't think I could handle the stress of that. I know I don't think I could. It's not my personality.
and what's interesting is that a lot of people these days are making themselves a brand. Like they are job. Like, how you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like everyone's branding themselves, you know, like, so
everybody's on YouTube.
Everyone's on YouTube. And actually, and let me just say that everyone's on YouTube. I'm not on YouTube, but I'm going to get on YouTube too. Shoot. So.
We need to do
Doing what? Painting your toenail. Look, I'm on YouTube. Yeah.
Well, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the beautiful Facebook live streams that people do in here, like Marty's doing right now, and then I convert that, and So just a little behind the scenes, right?
Okay.
Hey, why not use every platform you have?
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
go for it, I say.
You got to go for it, and I think that's part of my part of what I love about this field is the fact that there's so many ways to get out there, avenues to get out there.
Didn't used
to be, right? And where you don't need an agent. I mean, sure, it's nice, you know, or a broker. You don't need a studio telling you
the middleman.
The middleman. You don't need the middleman. Like it's I create something. I'm not told what I need to create. I'm not told what music I need to play. I play what I feel. Like, this is really a manifestation of how I feel inside. Every show is. I really just work hard and curate. Yeah, basically, yeah. So the third is reevaluate your work-life blend on a regular basis. So basically what this author is saying is that sometimes the work-life blend can mirror or sometimes look like being like a workaholic. Because it's like, oh, you know, my daughter's here. I'm sitting next to her, but I'm working, you know, for 18 hours. And we're like, but we're together. But no. So they're saying is that constantly reevaluate. Exactly. So they're saying constantly reevaluate that. So if other facets of your life are left unattended, so it says, we tend to steer away from our self-driven goals as external pressures like money and status inevitably rear its ugly head. So basically, like we were saying before, like for the likes, for the repost, for people, you know, tweeting at you or just Facebooking you saying, oh, I love your content. When you start getting that, you start wanting to focus and put more attention so you can get more of that, right? So they're saying that just be careful with that and constantly reevaluate your work-life blend so each section is getting its due attention. So this author also says that, you know, life is kind of like a stool with 3 legs. So you have community, you have work, and you have family. So, you know, each leg of the stool has to be at the same length, the proper length, you know, to sit upright. That's what it's a little metaphor, right?
Yeah.
So
that doesn't always happen that way, but okay.
So
one leg is always a little longer than the other leg, you know, and the other a little shorter. You know?
Right. And that's what we're saying. And that's the important, that is the entire point of the show, is just that sometimes it doesn't always happen that way. But, you know, it can eventually, some days or some weeks or some months, they can all be even, and some days it'll be lopsided, and some days, but then that's the to and fro, and that's the flow of life, and you fall and you get back up.
That's it. It's how you deal with that fall. Like, that's the problem, because there are a couple times your legs are cut out from under you, standing there going, I got no legs. Okay, next. What do I do?
Right. And that happened happened to me 2 weeks ago, and I was on the ground, but I got back up.
There you go.
So enough of that story.
But there you go.
Tell a different story, like we learned last week. I had a story last week. We talked about how to retell the story in your head, like, you know, the dialogue that stops you from doing things.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, tell it a different way, and to the point where you believe in it. Yeah, change that story.
Well, sometimes you build up a wall in your head and you can't get past that wall that you put in front of yourself, and you have to you got to break it down, because if you can't get through the door, then you have to go through the window. If you can't get through the window, then you go up under the wall. If you can't go up under the wall, then you get out a hammer and you try to crack it down. You go over it, you go under it, you go past it. You do something to get through that wall. Around, you do something, but you don't give up. And you know, and there are days that sometimes you feel like saying, that's it, I can't do it anymore, but you got to keep it moving. You know, because you'll regret it if you don't.
Oh, yeah, you will regret it if you don't.
You will have the guilt. No.
Yeah. I mean, so how good did it feel once you? I've known
when
myself.
I had my kids, I was in a slump like you wouldn't believe, and I actually ended up having postpartum because of it, and I had to find my way to get out of there, and I knew that I needed to work. I couldn't be at home all day with the kids. It was something I had to do just to be mentally stable. And once I did it, I mean, I have never been this happy, so
Yeah.
you got to do it.
You got to do it. So don't give up. So we are going to sadly go.
Oh, we gotta
Go.
Don't go.
We gotta go.
But no, it's awesome. So Pat, any last words for the listener?
No, just do your thing. Do what makes you you. That's it. And don't worry about anybody else, because no matter what you do, somebody's gonna be mad anyway. So you might as well go ahead and have a good time and do it.
Right, I hear that. Have a good time. And Marcel, what about you?
You've got to rise out of that slump, because there is happiness at the end of the road. It might be hard to see it, but it's there. Gotta go get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to everyone.
And by the way, and be able to take the sadness when it does come.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's acceptance, right? It's acceptance and not beating yourself up for
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, because you can do it. You can have that blend, and don't just continue to always push through. Just like Pat said, just like Marcel said, do your thing, live your life, live in love to the fullest. Absolutely. Earlier, me and my daughter we were talking, so we put this post out, and I have like stay lit, and that means loved, inspired, and true. So do that.
Ooh,
and,
okay.
I'm scared. Okay.
I'm going to use that one.
yeah, do that. And until next time, I believe in you, and I'll have this episode up shortly, I'm sure. And thank you guys for listening. I appreciate every single one of you. Enjoy this beautiful day. I have my girl Delilah Robin up next, so stay tuned. Keep it locked. And this song will be called Safe Till Tomorrow. I love this song. Enjoy it. Bye.